What's going on, guys? My name is MrHurriicane, and Madden NFL 25 is scheduled to come out in just around 5 months. And I might call it Madden 14 quite often, but just know Madden 25, Madden 14, I'm talking about the same thing. But I wanted to start talking about my Wishlist series here and what I hope is in the new game. You guys know I'm a big Madden fan. I play quite a bit of Madden, and I always want to see the game get better. And so the purpose of this first video is going to be to basically review Madden 13 and all its components, and then look at how I want Madden 14 to build upon that and push forward, making that a solid title this coming August when there's a new game to drop. So I'll have this video out, and in the future I'll have individual videos that talk about specific components like Ultimate Team, how that should get better, and different things in the game. I have plenty of ideas, guys. I play a lot of Madden and I want to see the game get better, and so I'll share that with you. But let's dig into this Madden 13 review now, and I'll talk about some little things I want improved along the way. But gameplay is where we're going to start out first, because in Madden 13, the Infinity Engine was introduced to give Madden real-life physics that would make the game a lot more realistic, and interactions would be a lot more football realistic. And I understand football is a very tough game to try to put into a program or a video game. You have 22 players interacting at the same time, and so through this first iteration of the Infinity Engine being in Madden, I would say that they did an okay job. Not great, not bad. There's some things I definitely don't like the ragdoll tackles, and there's just some weird interactions, like always running into your own guys and falling over. Like, I understand, like, you shouldn't be able just to run into the back of your guys anymore, but it's just, you know, there's some fine-tuning and things that have to be taken care of, as well as some expansion off the Infinity Engine. Like, there is no sort of defensive back receiver interaction. There's no contact being made besides maybe pass interference. That's really not traditional pass interference in football. So my main wants for Madden 14 in regards to the gameplay and physics engine are, I want better blocking animations and interactions along with defensive back wide receiver interactions. And I'll show some clips during this video showing like the deep ball and how a receiver and a cornerback will interact going down the field, and it's really just they're running to a spot, and it's whether or not the cornerback can keep up with the route running and the quickness and speed that the receiver possesses. That's really what it all boils down to. It's not getting necessarily better position on the football, knocking him off his route, that sort of thing. That's what I want to see more of. And as far as blocking goes, like, watch defensive ends do speed rushes around the tackles. Usually what happens is they'll engage the blocker, they'll disengage and run around him, and that's just wrong. That's not football right there. I want to see the defensive end be able to have speed rushes where they go around the outside, or maybe you can have a defensive tackle that can actually do a bull rush. And have we ever seen a defensive tackle, an overpowering defensive tackle like Ndamukong Suh, push back a weak guard or a center back into the pocket that closes it up and the quarterback gets sacked? That's how it happens in football. That's how it should happen in Madden. So I want to see blocking, the interactions and the awareness of the actual blockers improved, as well as interactions between the receiver and the defensive backs, because that's a big part of the game in football. I mean, it's a passing game now, obviously. I mean, Stafford just threw for 700 passes, and if the passing game is the focus, you should improve all aspects of the passing game. How precision passing has been improved, receiving animations and catching is definitely better in Madden 13, but the interaction between the defensive back and the receiver is practically non-existent at this point. So as far as gameplay goes and the engine is concerned, I think the gameplay is pretty well, and it plays very similar to past Maddens. Like, you can't look at the Infinity Engine and play the game and be like, this is a completely different experience. It's not completely different, it just looks a little different, and there's some wonky things in there that are just weird, and hopefully they fine-tune that. But I think I give the Infinity Engine, if I had to rate it out of 10 this year in the implementation, a 7 or a 7.5. At the kind of the highest. I mean, it's good. It's not like leaps and bounds above the old canned animation system that wasn't that good in the first place, but there's so much room for improvement. I can only give it like a 7 or a 7.5 right now. And now I want to move on to the individual modes in the game, and actually, like, when I looked at the game, I'm like, oh, there's only like 2 modes in it anyway. There's the Connected Careers, of course, and there's Ultimate Team, and there's some other ones in there as well. There's the Madden Moments, but that's a very minor feature, and so I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I'm going to talk about Ultimate Team and Connected Careers, and I'll start with Connected Careers, as it was the new mode, which is basically revamped Superstar and Franchise mode into one, with some changes, some great and some not so great, and so I'll talk about that that now. I have played quite a bit of Connected Careers already. I've played a full season as a player and almost 2 full seasons as a coach. So I'll say from a franchise perspective, I do like Connected Careers in the Legacy Edition, and I think they improve some things with contract negotiations, although make guys request realistic contracts, okay? It's too easy to re-sign guys for cheap. Make players have to choose who they want to re-sign. Make them have to make smart decisions. Make them make business decisions. I don't want it to be easy. If I wanted it to be easy, I probably wouldn't even play the game. So the negotiating system is good, it's just they need to ask for more money. Players need to be greedier in Madden, that's basically it. When you're playing actual games, though, I play offline. I don't play user versus user. I don't want to set up the whole thing, and I want to be able to play when I want to play, and so I'll play like Randy Moss, kind of. But I like to play against a computer and have a realistic experience that I put into my series, and I've had a lot of fun doing that, but having slider hell, as I would call it, has been a mess for the past few years. So I want to see the gameplay there's so many things in the gameplay that tie into this that make it... There's so much room for improvement. Like, when you're talking about Connected Careers, I think the hot and cold streaks impact too much of performance on the team, and they're too... I don't know what the right word really is to use, but I see too many instances where like the entire defensive line will be on a hot streak or the entire offensive line will be on a cold streak, and when you have that combination there, you can create just the most lopsided games with ridiculous stats and numbers, and I think they gotta tone that down a little bit. A guy on a hot streak should not all of a sudden become the best at his position, okay? He should just be a little bit better than what he usually is, or a little bit worse if it's a cold streak. So there's that, there's the scheming and play calling, which has the potential to be great, but they have to dig deeper into it. Like, when you look at some of the play calling in Madden, first of all, I don't know how this is in the game, but teams run the ball almost as much, if not more, than they pass, and teams are too conservative in Connected Careers. I played a game against the Green Bay Packers on my Oakland Raiders CCM, and the Packers ran draws and screens, and Rodgers had like 80 passing yards going into the fourth quarter. It was not until 2 minutes ago into the game that Rodgers decided that he was a great quarterback and he wanted to wing it all over the field, and he did. It was great. It was so... I thought it was actually pretty realistic the way he was winging it around the field, but he only did it for 2 minutes of the game because the play calling was so conservative and, in my opinion, just plain wrong. So I want to see realistic schemes and play calling adapted into Madden. Like, I want to see it to be able to evolve as well. Like, if the Minnesota Vikings, let's say that they don't have Greg Jennings now in real life, if they end up getting a great receiver down the line, you should edit their scheming and play calling to be more focused on the guys who are high rated. If they somehow get a receiver that's a rookie that's like an 80 overall, their passing game should be more involved in the game. And likewise, let's say like if the Vikings lost Adrian Peterson, then they're probably going to run less, so they should not keep the same game plan. You have to be able to adapt to the players on your team, and I want to see the computer do that a lot more intelligently, and that would definitely help the experience a lot, especially for the realistic sim-style players like myself. Now, there's some other things that I like about the Connected Careers. I know I'm doing a lot of criticism right now because this is a wish list video partially, and so I'm talking a lot about the negatives, but I do like Connected Careers. I think the NFL Draft is a very, very good implementation, along with the easy trade down function. I've used that myself, and I think the draft is awesome. I think free agent bidding is a little weird, but at the same time, I have a hard time criticizing it, and as well as offering a solution. Like, when I find a problem, I want a solution. I'm not sure what the right way is to go about free agent bidding. I think it's a fun system, but it's not the right system. I think contract negotiations during the season are the more realistic way to do it, but I'm okay with it if they don't touch it, but I would like to see it change in some way, but I can't pinpoint right now what I would change about it. And now I'm going to change this to talk about the player perspective, when you're playing as an individual player. And first off, I'm going to say the experience is drastically minimized because of the camera view. That's a fact right there. Because of the camera view, that doesn't change. You have the best perspective playing as a quarterback or a running back. When you play as a corner or a safety, you are stuck playing in the same camera view that you would be if you were playing a normal game, playing as a quarterback, or whatever in Madden. NCAA has the individual cameras. Like when I play as Sammy Hollins on my Road to Glory, I have the perspective of his back playing 15-20 yards off the line of scrimmage, and I can see Sammy Hollins in the center of my frame, and there's no problem there, and I can totally see what's going on. That needs to be in Madden 25, otherwise you alienate basically every position that isn't quarterback or running back, because it's just too hard to see, and it does not feel personal at all to be having your player when you have a bird's eye view of him and he's just, you know, kind of there. So otherwise, you know, when I've played as Evans Okacha in my running back series, I had a good time. I think that the character careers as a player has a lot of potential. I definitely want to see the Road to Glory editions back. Obviously, they changed a lot of things in Madden so that the draft classes and the importing of Road to Glory was no longer compatible, and I'm hoping that will be back this year, and that would definitely help out my character careers as well, because draft classes need to be there so I can have more fun with my off seasons and drafting actual guys in college from NCAA. That's just so much fun. I did it on Madden 12. I had a great time with it, and I'm disappointed that it's not there in Madden 13, but I understand why, and hopefully it's back this coming year. But overall, Connected Careers is not bad in my opinion. I like it, but I just want to see it improve, and that's the way I'm structuring this video. Like, my idea is that you should always just build upon what's previous, add new things, and make it better. You should never take steps back. That's my kind of mindset here, so that's why I'm talking about, okay, take this from Madden 13, improve it, add this, and you got a better product. Hey guys, I'm going to cut the video right here because the rendering kept failing when I wanted to export this entire video, so this is going to be into two parts now. This is the first one. In the second part, which I'll link in the description and annotation, we'll cover Ultimate Team and presentation. So that'll cover the rest of the intro to my wishlist series in Madden 25, but thanks for watching guys, and go watch the second part.